Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to meet with the Letcher County Water and Sewer District, our regular meeting, Thursday, April 17th, 2025. And we'll begin the agenda with the call to order. First on the agenda for approval is the March 20th, 2025 meeting minutes. You have them in your packet. Do I hear a motion that we approve these minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Sam.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Richard. The motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The motion carries. Next on the agenda is the engineer's report from Bell Engineering.
Good afternoon, everyone. We'll start off with the Carbonville Road project. As you know, that project's been going on for a while. We've had problems down there with the bore underneath the railroad. That was originally a bore jack. The railroad inspector stopped the contractor from proceeding, and so we had to resubmit to CSX to perform a directional drill. And last month, MGM started work on that, and they drilled the pilot hole. And during back reaming of the pilot hole, the head that they used to back ream snapped, and they subsequently lost it underneath the railroad, or underneath the road. After several attempts to recover the drill head failed, the contractor and CSX inspector stepped over 3 feet and began re-drilling that pilot hole. They have re-drilled the pilot hole, and starting Monday they'll begin back reaming the new hole. Hopefully, they anticipate it'll take about 3 days to do that, and then that project will be done with that bore underneath the road and the railroad. As soon as that's done, the only items remaining are tying in the lines and setting the meters and pressure testing and disinfecting the line. The Federal Bureau of Prison water line project, contractor was issued a notice to proceed and begin on or before April the 1st. They did begin that week. They began right around the 1st. They began down there doing directional drills also. As of today, they had installed approximately 1,300 linear feet of 8-inch ductile iron pipe, and they had also completed 7 directional bores. We did make a site visit today to review things and also to discuss the work. Project looks good. So far, they're making good progress and doing well. Let's just hope that they are able to maintain that. We also had our monthly engineering meeting with AML for the project this morning, and subsequently had a progress meeting with the contractor this afternoon. During that meeting, the contractor's first pay request was processed for stored materials, and it's in the amount of $443,702.19, which will be on the bill pay list later. The 57 relocation at Red Star, contractors installed all the 8-inch main line that's included in the project. That 8-inch main line is north of the bridge. Those lines are ready to be tied in. Service lines are in place, and the meters are ready to be set that are associated with the project. The main line east of the bridge, which is the directional bore, remains to be started. Could start as early as next week. We also have a progress meeting this afternoon with the contractor, and during that meeting, the contractor's 4th pay request was processed in the amount of $19,562.84. Millstone Phase 2, all those lines are laid out, and the opinion of construction cost has been prepared. We rerun all the hydraulics. We completed taking all the pictures and making measurements of all the work along the road per KYTC's requirements. Bill made a site visit last month to perform a constructability review and survey in all the KYTC road crossings. We spent time since then revising the plans for the site visit and creating the bore profiles to submit to KYTC. Revisions to the previously prepared preliminary engineering report are complete, and we're continuing to finalize work on the checklist items associated with rural development. We did have our monthly engineering meeting with AML for that project earlier today also. Red Star Turkey Creek Phase 3, those lines are laid out and opinion of construction cost has been prepared. We have obtained pictures and taken measurements of the proposed construction along the roadway for the request of KYTC. All those have been inserted into the plans. We've also rerun the hydraulics. Permit applications are being finalized, and we also met with AML on that project earlier today as well. The Loggy Hollow and zone meter replacement. The Loggy Hollow line and master meter locations are laid out. We've also completed all the hydraulics for the project and prepared the Division of Water submittal. We've completed surveying the bore that crosses Kentucky 15 for the KYTC encroachment permit. And I think as Lee told you last month, and maybe Lisa also, the project's been broken into two parts per the funding agency's request. One part utilizing the cleaner water funds, and that contains the equipment, the 2 service trucks, backhoe, and trailer, and telemetry for the master meters, and also the property purchase for the water treatment plant. The other portion, utilizing Appalachian Regional funds, contains actual Loggy Hollow extension, the master meters, and the Pratt Fork pump station rehabilitation. And we'll be meeting on site next week to review the station with Mark and make sure that we have everything in there that needs to be accomplished. Cumberland River Phase 1, plan's been revised based on the rerun hydraulics and can be submitted to be resubmitted to the Division of Water. We're getting ready to do the measurements and take the pictures of the proposed construction along the KYTC right-of-way, and then after permit agencies' approvals obtained, a project may be bid pending funding availability. Cumberland River Phase 4, again, that's another one that we're inserting the pictures on right now, making the measurements for the request of KYTC. We've run the hydraulics for the project, and the Division of Water submittal's been prepared. We're also reviewing the opinion of probable cost right now, and as soon as DOW and KYTC approval and all funding's in place, the project may be bid. Millstone Sanitary Sewer, Mark and I discussed that earlier. We're going to go ahead and send him the health department plan, or the health department permit, first part of next week, so there are the permit application, so he can sign it, and we can go ahead and submit those plans with the first 4 septic tanks over there. And then just as soon as, actually we can probably, once we feel confident that it'll be approved, we can probably go ahead and advertise the first 4 then and bid those. And that will work out well. That's kind of the first portion of the project, and then there's 5 other, I believe there's 5 other septic tanks that we'll do as a second phase. Prison wastewater treatment plant. Plans and specifications for the treatment plant were partially completed in 2018 and 19 before it was halted. Copies of plans and specifications have been forwarded to AML as they stood at that time. We are updating the opinion of probable construction cost at the request of CRAD for that, and I believe so they can start seeking funding for it. Correct, Lisa? Mm-hmm. Great, thank you. And then from the construction and engineering pay items, on the construction side, we have 2 pay requests. That's the utility relocation for the bridge on Kentucky 7 at Red Star, MGM Contracting, and then the water line extensions for the Federal Bureau of Prisons project. That is TP Pipeline. Then on the engineering side for LaBelle, we have invoices for the water line extension, the Federal Bureau of Prisons, and that's for the inspection work and the construction administration work. Then also the Millstone Project Phase 2, Red Star Project Phase 3, Loggy Hollow Road and Zone Meter Replacement Project, the utility relocation for the bridge on Kentucky 7 at Red Star, and lastly, the Letcher County Water and Sewer District's 2025 flood relief assistance for the Thomas County. And I'll be happy to entertain any questions or further discussion. Y'all want to discuss anything? Otherwise, that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
After hearing the report, I would take a motion for approval of the pay request for Bell Engineering Construction Projects.
I'll make it.
Thank you, Jerry.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Sam. The motion has been made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries for the pay request. Next on the agenda is the engineer's report from GRW.
Thanks, Diane. I'll be brief, I promise. On the handout I gave you, I've got 3 projects listed. The first one is the treatment, water treatment plant. Added all the completed items. You can see the new ones picked up at that item 7. So last time we spoke, we met with the engineering section of Division of Water. They're all for the project. They're in favor of a traditional type facility as opposed to membrane, but they're good with it. We had, since our last meeting, we met with the watershed management folks at Division of Water, because they're going to be the ones that determine your withdrawal, the plant. They were on board with it 100%, and they recommended instead of the 1 MGD permit request, we do 2. If you do 1, they can only let you withdraw 85% of it, so the 2 will get you, 85% of the 2 will get you over the 1 million threshold. There was, the issue with the water withdrawal permit is they don't want the permit in their hand until 6 months from the point of withdrawal. You guys are gonna have a lot of time and money invested in this project to wait to 6 months before the plant's ready to fire up for something to go, something to get a monkey in the monkey wrench thrown into the works. So what I asked of them is if they give us a letter just saying pending the permit application that they're, based on our meeting, are in agreement with the withdrawal and anticipated 2 million gallon a day withdrawal. And they said they'll do that. As soon as they get that letter, I'll copy you on it, Mark. The site itself, the CSX issue, we reached out to Jeff Everett with CSX and went around with him a couple of times, and the Letcher County PBA does not have CSX listed as property owner. CSX has them listed as property owner. They have offered to do a title search. The fee for that's about $200. And my recommendation was let's go ahead and get that done. In our conversations, I asked them if they would be opposed to potentially selling that property, and they said no. And what the value of that is going to be, I don't know, and that's a ways down the road. But they didn't tell us no up front. But the first thing we need to do is get a title search done on that property. Other things we've done, I got the raw water information from Pace Analytical, sending that to Joe Ulius at Division of Water. Shouldn't be any issues there. We have reached out to the Corps. We're waiting on response from them as far as what their jurisdiction in the process is and which Corps office, the Louisville or Nashville office, will be handling it. When we met with the Division of Water, what they told us is the Corps won't have any jurisdiction in this unless we try to obstruct the, dam up the river or something like that. It's all Division of Water, and then we have to go through the Kentucky River Authority or something like that. And those are the only 2 regulatory agencies that are going to be involved. Work items, we'll keep on hammering on with the Corps and get the title search request from CSX started. And we've got a site utilization plan. I shared it with Mark last time. We'll upgrade that, and then we probably need to sit down and take another look at it, because right now it's tight. But we can do that next week to take a look at it. What I do need from the board is you guys to authorize us to go ahead and tell CSX to start the title search. I'll leave it with you, Mark. It's $200 to do it. We'll cover it, and then we'll just get reimbursed from the funds, you know, when the project are invoiced on the project. But right now, we'll go ahead and do it. But I need you guys to tell us to do that, because we'll do that afterwards. Okay. So the next project is the RD project, the meter replacement. Everything's tracking on that. We got some GIS information from RCAP. We were able to manipulate the CAE information to marry up with the GIS information. So you got an accurate system map now is what it amounts to. The plans and specs are done. I think I left those with you last time, Mark. I wouldn't say we're at 90%, but we're pretty close. The next step in this process is to submit them to the state engineer for review. I'd like to set up a progress meeting next week with them if you guys are available. I'll let you know what their availability is and just kind of bring them up to speed on the status of the plans, the waivers we got from the Division of Water and the Highway Department, see what other checklist items we're missing, so we can go ahead and get that review done, and then it'll be ready to bid. The last project is the Mountain Comp Healthcare water line extension. So the first round of ARC came out last board meeting.
Yeah.
Has the second come out?
Not yet, but I did talk to Whitney at ARC. She told me what I could do to beef up the application, and that they are getting ready to do the secondary.
Okay. So you all can get the first round of ARC money that came out a month or so ago. I called Benny McCall because he's kind of a fiscal court in, and he's got contacts at DOG, and he's supposed to be working his magic on it as well, and then I'll get with you and we'll do what we have to beef it up. And those are the three active projects. You have another flood recovery project that was funded, but it's still not off the X. We're still working on what, the environmental on that? Or,
Yeah.
okay. That's all I've got. So the only action, and I don't have any bills for you on that. The RD project, we've got invoices built up because we're almost done with the plans, but Leslie Gill already asked us not to invoice you all until the project goes to construction. I guess and that's fine. We'll settle it until it does, but after we let it, then we'll bring it to speed on our invoicing. But I just need you all to authorize us to go ahead and get CSX doing their thing. That's all I've got. You got any questions?
Thank you, Alan.
Thanks.
Okay, I'd like to hear a motion that we authorize the title search that Alan has just explained to us. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Richard.
I'll second.
Thank you, Jerry. The motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Next is the payment of the monthly bills of the district. You have that in your packet as well. And as usual, I'll ask Mark if there's anything in particular you want to explain.
$34,850 is MGM contract, and that's passed through the project for that water line relocation of that down there at Ulva Bridge. Other than that, it's just straight bills.
Okay. Any other questions? I would hear a motion that we pay the monthly bills of the district.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Sam.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Richard. The motion has been made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The motion carries. Next on the agenda is the resolution 0417, 2025.
I actually have two. I have A and B. The first one is A. This resolution is for the water line extension for Mountain Comp that Alan was talking about a minute ago. With ARC, there's an 80-20 match, and we are applying for grant funding, which is House Bill 723 for the match money. It's $150,000, and I just need you all to pass this resolution allowing us to apply for it.
Okay, do we want to do that in one motion? That motion?
I mean, it's however you want to do it. We can do that, and then this one is an updated contract, so it'd probably be better too.
Okay, that sounds great. All right, thank you, and we'll get back to you just in a minute.
Okay.
I would hear a motion that we, tell me how to say it.
Approve the applying of the grant funding for the NCHC waterline extension.
Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Richard.
I'll second.
Thank you, Sam. The motion has been made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Now you want to tell us about the next one.
The second one is it's an amended contract. It's the contracts for AML with the it's the AML, the Millstone Water Project. The time limit was about to run out on our contract, so we just had to amend it to further the time. And I just need a motion and a second approving that we can sign off on that contract.
Okay, I would hear a motion that we sign off on that contract.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Richard.
I'll second.
Thank you, Jerry. The motion has been made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Next on the agenda is board member comments and discussion.
I'll make that motion. We go to executive order.
Sam Oaks has made the motion that our board go into executive order. Is that how you say it?
Session.
Executive session.
Pending litigation.
Pending litigation. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we will go into executive session and we'll meet in here. Call the meeting back in order after our executive session. No action was taken on the pending litigation. And now I'd like to hear public comments from the floor. Do we have public comments?
Good afternoon. My name is Jeremiah Johnston. I'm assuming you're the Madam Chairman
I am.
of this board. I live at 363 Highway 119 South. As you start up Pine Mountain, about a third of a mile up there on the left is where I live. And on the 4th of this month, there was a water break. You all's a county line water break that was literally right below my house along that ditch line that the State Department hit it. When, I don't know Mark, if you were up there, I know Mark, know Sam. I don't know when this happened, but one of your folks accused me of stealing your water and disconnected a straight line that had a pressure regulating valve. A PRV is what it's called. I don't know if you all are familiar with a PRV, but I'm going to get back to that. I was never told about it. I didn't know anything about it. Anyway, the folks worked Friday. They didn't finish. They came back Saturday first thing in the morning and worked that job. Saturday afternoon, we decided to go eat because we still didn't have water. And we didn't get back until Saturday after they had finished up. I assume I talked to one of the guys and they said they were about done. So I imagine Saturday afternoon. Okay, we get back Saturday night. It looks like they've been done. The ditch is backfilled, the line's backfilled. Go in the house, no water. So I go outside to my water box and look and to see if maybe they just didn't turn the water on. They had pulled the line out, physically took the line out and locked that, I guess, the shutoff. So that was late Saturday. Didn't care too much about it. I just figured that they took it out for whatever reason. They had to flush. I don't know. I wasn't accusing anybody at the time. So that's Saturday night. Sunday morning, city called, I guess here, but I guess it gets forwarded to whoever's on duty. I'm not sure.
You talked to me.
At 9 o'clock Saturday, I talked to you?
I think I talked to the lady.
Okay, so the first call was at 9 o'clock to ask why we didn't have water. I didn't hear that conversation. She didn't have it on speakerphone until the second call. But there's no explanation. Just said you were going to look into it or whatever. So at 9 o'clock, I'll finish and then you can ask all the questions you want. As a matter of fact, I'd love to answer some questions. So 11:30, still no call back. So she calls again. This time she puts it on speakerphone and I ask who I'm talking to, and that time he said it was Jason. And he said that there was an illegal straight line put in and that he wasn't able to put it back in. And that was pretty much the end of the conversation. I called, after we hung up with Jason, I called the city to find out if the city could do something. I'm going to get back to this. I'm not on your all system. That house has never been on county water. It's always been on the city. After the 2022 flood, the city water line that runs under the river by Pine Mountain Grill, under the river there, it broke. So the city didn't repair that line. What they did was they tapped into the county line right by my house. Mark was there when they did it. So I pay the city every month, and then the city in return pays the county for the usage, if that makes sense. I'm sure I'm not the only one that does that in Letcher County, or around the city limits anyway. So there's a little backstory with that. So back to Sunday now. 11:30, I get off the phone with Jason when he tells me there's an illegal straight line. I call the city. I talk to Chris Cottle. He comes up. He said, well, I'll just put another line in there. We'll figure it out Monday. In the interim, when Chris showed up there, he opened up the lid and that straight line with that PRV, the pressure valve was gone and it was locked. Chris couldn't do anything, the city couldn't do anything about it, had a lock on it. He gave me Mark's number, his personal number. I called Mark. Mark said, yeah, I heard about it. We're trying to figure something out or something like that. It's a very brief conversation. It didn't last 10 seconds. So waited a little bit longer, still no callback, still nothing, no feedback, no nothing. We're gonna get to it, there was no nothing. I called again about 1, talked to Jason again, he identified who he was. And that's when he told me that he was gonna arrest me and have me thrown in jail for stealing county water. He threatened me with arrest. When somebody from your department is the one that stole city property. Everything from that line that runs up Pine Mountain, your county line, everything inwards towards my house belongs to the city. It does not belong to the county. All of that material, all of that stuff belongs to the city. So after he told me that I was going to go to jail, I did get mad. I asked who took it out. He said he did by your direction.
That's That's correct.
So the city was kind of stuck. They couldn't do anything with your lock on there. But when I called back at 1 o'clock to talk to Jason, I said, whoever took this out needs to come up here and put it back in. Cut and dry, put it back in. I tried to explain to Jason that I pay the city. I've never been late on a payment. They borrow water from the county. I don't know if he didn't understand it or if he didn't care. I had to call my boss, Terry Adams, the judge, the county judge. I called him. I said, Terry, maybe you can call and get something figured out. I said, I need water. You know, this isn't right. Explained to him what the story was. I don't know who we talked to. I don't know if we called. I don't know who we talked to. I told Terry. He called somebody.
Talk to me.
So at 4:35, somewhere around there, an employee showed up and they put a new line in with a PRV. It wasn't the original one. I don't know why he didn't put the original one in. He put a new one in. He didn't check the pressure after he put it in there. He installed that PRV. If you all know anything about PRVs, there's an adjustment screw on there for pressure, right? The house has, what, 50 PSI normally?
55.
All right, so 50 plus or minus something, right? So this guy puts in a new line in the PRV and it's maxed out on pressure. He didn't put a gauge on it, he didn't do anything. He put it in there and left. We watched him do the whole thing. He left, I go and I turn my water on, it blows every cold line in my kitchen, the kitchen faucet line, the cold line, the sink cold line, it blew them loose, and then my hot water heater, you know, the relief valve on a hot water heater, wide open. And it was pumping water in my house as fast as it was shoving it through the lines. Mike came out Monday. Let me back up. My house it looked like it had been flooded. So I went outside and I shut the water off outside. I called the city Monday. Mike from the city came. He put a gauge. He realized that that straight line and that PRV was not the one that he put in and that it was maxed out. That bolt was wrong. All the way down is max pressure. He put a gauge on the output side. It was at 152 PSI. So the city put a brand new line and PRV in. And that's where we're at. And all that was Monday, late morning, and all day Sunday, Sydney and I cleaned up water. I ended up breaking I have a shutoff valve that's right by my hot water heater. In a haste, I'm telling you, there was so much water. I tried to turn my shutoff valve. I ended up breaking the ears off of the shutoff valve. I had to replace the pressure valve on the hot water heater because it would not close. It just wouldn't close. Even after we got everything fixed, it still wouldn't shut. So here we are. So I need somebody to explain to me what happened here. I'm not done yet. Why you all were in my box to begin with is beyond me. I don't know if there was something, if you had to get the water to flush out. I don't know. You know, in your website, you know, in your mission statement, you all talk about, you know, professionalism and getting the community to trust you all and honesty. That's in your mission statement. That was opposite, completely opposite of that debacle that happened on the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. So I would like to know what you're going to do to help me and to make sure that this doesn't happen to anybody else around here. And I'm probably missing some stuff, but if you all have questions, I would love to answer them, and I would definitely love to know what the disconnect was.
Can I speak?
Sure.
Okay, we thought that meter was one of our meters because going up 119 from McDonald's Bridge to Fur Creek, that's the only meter adjacent off the highway that don't belong to the water district. It's the only one. And my guys discovered it had a straight pipe PRV in it. They thought it was one of our barrels. They pulled it out, they locked it off, they thought it was theft. I mean, cut and dry, it was a mistake, it was my fault. I apologize.
It's a little late for an apology now. Where was the apology when it happened? Let's go back to the honesty thing and where you guys try to get trust from the public. What was wrong with coming up there? What was wrong with coming up there and asking me? I don't live in a rundown house. I don't live in a bad neighborhood. I'm by myself. What screamed that I was stealing water from you all? And why couldn't somebody come up and knock on my door and say, hey, can you explain this? Or, hey, this is illegal. And I could have explained right then and there that that wasn't even your property. It wasn't yours to take. That was what should have happened. One of your guys, there was a handful of them, should have said something, never said a word. They left me to figure it out on my own.
As soon as I talked to your wife, I called the gentleman at City Whitesburg. He told me that it was their meter barrel. And what took the period of time to get it put in, the reason a different PRV was put in, the gentleman that had it on his service truck wasn't home. And I waited for him to get back home to put it in, and he didn't ever show up in a reasonable time. And I called the other gentleman, and he found the PRV and stuck in.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, it's totally, honestly, mistake. I apologize 100%. If we do catch people stealing in our system, we don't notify them. We do pull what we consider a straight pipe out, and we lock it off, and we do prosecute them. We thought that was our barrel. We made a mistake on it. It's cut and dry. That's the end of it.
But it's not the end of it.
Well, I mean, what else would you want done?
You all flooded my house with water because of somebody who should have known better, who was a professional, should have known that PRV was cranked wide open. So is it not protocol? I know you weren't there. I was.
Yeah.
There's pictures of it. Mike took pictures of it. Anybody that works on these water lines knows that when that bolt is cranked all the way down, it couldn't go down any farther.
If there were damage to your house, we'll turn it into our insurance company. And covered the cost of the damage. Because we have insurance just for that purpose. I mean, other than me telling you I'm sorry, it was my mistake, and I apologize to you.
What took you so long? Why did it have to come to this?
What do you mean? Why didn't you call me?
I wasn't the one that made the mistake.
I mean, I don't understand what you're saying.
If you know that you made a mistake Sunday, or Saturday, or even Monday, where was the phone call between the 6th, 7th, or 8th to now?
The issue, well, I mean, immediately the next work day, I was told that you were coming to the board meeting. What been the point of me calling you?
Right, okay, well, if that's what you think would settle it, then...
Well, like I said, I apologize. Like I said, it was my mistake. They done it at my direction. It was a total mistake.
You were there when the city installed all that stuff. That's why I don't see how...
No, I wasn't. I wasn't there when the city installed your meter. I was there when
they tapped into that line. I'm not gonna get into that. You knew that they tapped into that...
Absolutely.
Your line. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So... All right. So what are the steps that I have to take so you can turn it into the insurance?
No, we'll contact them the first thing Monday morning and tell them that you have damage, and I'm sure they'll want you to get a cost estimate of your damage, and then we'll go from there.
You know, it ought to be illegal to just cut somebody's water off without taking proper steps.
It didn't have a meter in it. It had a straight pipe PRV.
My meter is a foot away from that water box. 1 foot.
Never seen it.
That's not my fault. That's 100%.
Like I said, I told you it's my fault.
Well, this is the attitude that I get from all the employees, from every one of your workers, is just like...
I mean, other than me apologizing to you, what else would you want me to
I
do?
don't want anything from you, Mark.
Okay, like I said, I'm sorry.
Mr. Johnson, can I speak?
Sure.
I would like to say how very sorry that I am and that the board is for this happening. I think there was some really poor communication that went on, and I think you all have suffered from what happened. I hope in the future that we can learn to communicate better with the customers that we have or the customers that are near where we are. And I hope that you will use the insurance, because that's what we have it for, and we encourage you to use that insurance to cover the cost of what's happened to you. And I know it can't cover your worry and your anger and your being so upset by this, but I do want to say that we understand you've had a hard time with this, and please accept our apology.
Okay. Do you know how to get a hold of me? I would like to hear from you.
I don't, but I have your name, if you'll give me your number.
It's 634.
Well, you don't have to give it to me in public, but you can.
634-2697.
I'll be glad to call you.
All right. Thank you all for your time.
At this time, I'd like a motion that we adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I was waiting for you to have that motion. Thank you, Richard. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Jerry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, huh?